IEM Coding Club and the host for this session. So with me, I have Debayut Mitra and Prakash Tomar. With So I would like to hand over the meeting to Debayut Mitra.
Hello and good evening, everyone. I am Devaj Mitra from third year CAC, and I am the ML lead of IEM Coding Club. I, along with my co-lead Prakash B. Singh Tomar, we will be taking an introductory session on machine learning. Okay. So as this is machine learning is a very pretty huge topic, we are just explaining some of the basic things, like a very brief demonstration on machine learning. So the first part will be shared by me, and the next part will be shared by Prakash, and we combinedly share you the roadmap. Okay. And Aditi, please allow other participants to join. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Hello guys, I'm Prakash V. Singh Tomar. I'll be taking your session along with Debayud Mitra. And apart from that, I'll be telling you that in the ending of the session, we'll be having a Q&A session, which will be taken combinedly by me and Debayud. If there, like, we'll be taking all the beginner friendly question and every question which you have. But if there are certain queries which you are stuck in, which are kind of intermediate to advanced level, kindly feel free to DM us on WhatsApp or either put it in Discord server, because the audience of this particular meeting is a very big beginner friendly one. So we can't do them with the high level problems. So if you have any high level queries, you can consult us in DMs or Discord server. So I hope you all might enjoy the sessions. Over to you, Debayud.
Hello. Thank you. So firstly, I would like to start about machine learning, AI, deep learning, and all these. Okay. So as we know that artificial intelligence, the AI, what is AI? In today's world, the technology is growing very fast, and AI is a very fascinating term. Everybody everywhere uses AI, like from Google, Microsoft, Yahoo, YouTube, everywhere. Okay. So as it is one of the fascinating term in the field of computer science, and it's a very great scope in future too. Okay. So AI holds a tendency to cause a machine to work like and behave like a human being. And this branch of computer science mainly deals with human intelligence, where it enables to like create, imagine, think like a human, exactly like a human brain. Okay. So AI is broadly classified into type 1 and type 2. In type 1 AI, we have got the narrow AI, general AI, strong AI. And in type 2, we have got the reactive machines, limited memory, theory of mind, self-awareness, and all. So next I would come on deep learning. Then I would jump back to ML and tell what is all ML about. So deep learning is basically a subset of machine learning. Okay. And it is working on neural networks, three or more neural networks. And deep learning is a machine learning technique only. Okay. It allows a human like learn by example. Okay. By learning by example, the deep learning works. Most deep learning methods use neural network architectures, which is why it is called like deep neural networks, and it's achieving results that were not possible before. Okay, so for example, like if we have a card data set, like in machine learning, what we do, manual feature extraction, then we get what is it is like in the card data set, if there are car, truck, bicycles, everything. So we do feature extraction, then we eventually get what it is all about. But in deep learning, we use neural with the help of neural network. We use CNN architecture, ANN architecture, RNN architecture, and by that we can get easily the amount of accuracy increases actually. Like it's a car or not, or a truck or not, or a bicycle or not. So next, I would like to say what is the relationship between AI, ML, and deep learning. So actually, machine learning and deep learning both are types of AI only. And wait a minute. Yes. Uh, Machine learning and deep learning all are subsets of AI. Okay. So in short, machine learning AI is that automatically adapt minimal human interference, as I have said earlier. And what machine learning is? It is a subset of AI, you can say in a simple language, which uses mathematical statistical data, uses formulas to generate predictive solutions. It category includes a deep learning part also, but we will come to it later on in our later sessions. So like now I would like to say something about machine learning. So what is ML basically? So what is the basic definition? What is the basic thing about ML? So machine learning is the specific practice of using like ML algorithms, mathematical algorithms that consume some data. Okay. So we gather some data, learn patterns in that data, and then use to make that predictions accordingly. And the algorithms we have that are learning patterns in data. Okay, and we fed them, like we feed the algorithms patterns, and then we get like the machine learning what actually is. Like we can say like training a machine learning algorithm or training a machine learning model. We get all these. Okay. So the what is the fundamental idea, the fundamental concept behind machine learning? Like many of us don't know it, right? So what is it? Like a data is given, suppose a data table is given. Okay. And we find some mathematical functions that are best suited, best fit for the data. Okay. So by the help of that, we can predict what value of the target columns or will be the given values of the featured columns, like in this way. And moreover, like I would like to say, like the problems where the target column is categorical column, you can say that are classification related problems. Okay. And if the target column is a numerical valued column, so it is regression related problems. And like in machine learning, we get various examples like image recognition, speech recognition, medical diagnosis, statistical arbitrary, predictive analysis, extraction, and all this. So both are examples of AI and deep learning also, like in self-driving cars, smart assistants, healthcare, etc. And in money laundering, face recognition, driverless cars, etc. Many are examples are there. So dive into ML. Okay, like before that, I would like to say a few points like what is the mathematics and statistics behind data science machine learning, right? For mathematics, we have linear algebra, calculus, and in statistics, we can learn descriptive statistics, differential statistics. Those are like if you go deep, if you do research in machine learning, you can. Or if you only want to do implementation, my friend Prakash will show you in later half. So the main concepts for machine learning for primary stage, I would like to say linear algebra, calculus, probability, discrete math, statistics, and all we have done and gone through at our 12 level only. And few machine learning terms I would like to say like the F1 score, permutation importance, SHAP importance, model fitting, correlation, ROC curve, confusion matrix, cross validation, and many more are there. So like we will not cover that in our this session, but in our next sessions we will cover those topics. Those are very important machine learning terms. Okay. Now I dive into ML. Like what are the types of machine learning? We have supervised machine learning and unsupervised machine learning. Okay. The basic two broad category. We have reinforcement learning also, but we will come to that later on. So what is the basic difference between supervised and unsupervised? So supervised is a task-driven machine learning. Okay, like some tasks are given, pre-categorized data is given, labeled data set is given, and we perform the tasks. Whereas unsupervised machine learning is an unlabeled data set. Okay, and it's data-driven. We collect the data, we use our algorithms, then we get the result. In supervised machine learning, you can say it is broadly classified into classification and regression related problems. Okay. So in classification, we get the identity fraud detection, and in regression, we get the market forecasting. These are just examples of it. And in unsupervised machine learning, we get the clustering, association, dimension reduction, and all these. Okay, in clustering, we have the targeted marketing related problems. In association, we get the customer recommendation or traffic sign recognition, any type of recognition, recommendation system, movie recommendation system, all these. Uh, and in dimensional reduction, we get the big data visualizations. Okay. So moving on to that, I would like to say it is supervised is mainly used for prediction and unsupervised is used for analysis. And like a difference point also, you can say like supervise has feedback mechanism, unsupervised doesn't have any feedback mechanism, and all these. So what about reinforcement learning, right? Reinforcement is a like type of machine learning only. It is in simple terms, it learned from the previous mistakes. Like for example, the Pac-Man game. Okay, what the Pac-Man does, it eats food and the ghost chases it. So it traces the path. So machine learning is exactly that. So here are the applications of machine learning, the real life scenarios. Like what are the applications like in day-to-day life, like commute estimation. In commute estimation, like we have Google Maps. We point from one place to another place. We get an estimation of time, or we can see the traffic. Either it is blue, red, or orange. We can get it, or we can get it via Ola, Uber, like riding apps. We get certain amount, or the commercial flight to use autopilot. That's also under an estimation. Email intelligence, like the spam filters, email classifications, smart replies, and all those comes under email intelligence, you can say. And what about banking and personal finance, like fraud prevention? You can say check deposits on mobile. It all comes under applications of machine learning. We use that in day-to-day life, but we don't know what is it is exactly. And in the evaluation of assessment, like in our examination, like in online examination, the plagiarism checkers are used, the robo readers are used. Okay. In social networking, we have Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, WhatsApp that uses machine learning algorithms too. In medical diagnosis, I would like to say that machine learning helps a lot along with AI. Both AI and machine learning help in healthcare, like implemented efficient monitoring of the diseases, driving medical tests or outcome research, and any kind of therapy test we can do. We can get like the diabetes prediction and all. We can get the idea. Personal smart assistants, like the personal smart assistants like Google Assistant, Google Home, Alexa, Siri, etc. And all these comes under personal smart assistants. So the later half I will come again, and now I would like to share the next part to my friend Prakash. He will continue.
Thank you, Debayut. So before moving on to my part, firstly, I would like to say to all of you, like, I just want a few yeses in the chat box. Am I clearly audible? And apart from that, I will also be want to knowing that are you all comfortable that if I use partly like English kind of concept along with like English, I would say some Hindi jargons or something like that. There is any issue for that? If anyone has issue, then let me know. I'll not say any Hindi terms. I'll only okay, fine. Then it's fine. Yeah, I'll be sharing my screen and yeah, today I wanted to like share what I say. I wanted to put on the camera today, but the thing is like I am facing some internet issues today. So never mind. When I'll be giving you some concepts or something like those things, I'll be turning on my camera for that. And yeah, so moving on. Actually, this was my first topic which I wanted to discuss. That is predictability versus interpretability. But the thing with this topic is like kind of as you everyone has saw that Devayus was discussing applications of ML, and directly jumping onto this topic would create like sudden peak in the graph. So I would first on move on to this part, that how ML is becoming an integrated part of every work sector and everyday life in general, starting from a layman terms or something like that. तो आप सब लोग को पता ही होगा, usually like nowadays in literally most of the things there is machine learning or AI. You all must have seen them, like going into the washrooms of IEM where you have like automated like flushers, or you can go to the smart labs where you can see the smart screens are working, or you can see in your mobile phone where Google Assistant is there. Apart from that, Google Assistant, Alexa is there, Siri is there. Most of you will be using them in your day-to-day lives. And also, like lately I was working on a pothole project. In that particular project, like pothole detection, there was a thing. So let me tell you guys, like सब लोगों ने, like when you come to college or you go to a particular place, I know that India is not so much good in these types. So in roads you see potholes or manholes. Obviously manholes will be there, if not potholes. So those are also like right now detected by ML. So you can understand the concept that ML is kind of related in each and every domain of day to day's life. And apart from that, like daily अपनी life में सब लोग use करते हैं. No one cares about it that they are using it in day to day's life. But yeah, if you would observe, you can identify that 90% of the task you do in your day to day life, it's ML, either ML, either AI or data analysis. Like even today, many of you were देख रहे होंगे, like India versus Bangladesh match was going on, and in most of the times there were DLS thing. Apart from that, there was like batting average and all those statistics. That is the part of data analysis. So in today's session, like we'll be moving along like ML, AI or data analysis. All these three things are kind of correlated to each other, not completely same but kind of correlated to each other. And yeah, किसी ने आधा घंटे पहले भी टीवी खोला होगा, सो वहां पे भी डेटा एनालिसिस हो ही रहा है, मशीन लर्निंग चल ही रहा है. So moving on to our next topic, which was my first topic, we are coming back to that, predictability versus interpretability. So basically these two terms are those terms which you might be thinking ki bhaiya what's the relation. So let me tell you that there is a kind of what I say कि एक फंडा होता है, there is a funda behind machine learning. If you would find out that funda, machine learning becomes easy for you. Kind of funda is predictability versus interpretability. This is one of the core reasons like जो आप लोग को like kind of gives you boost in learning machine learning concepts. So how it works, let me tell you that there are some things called predictability and there are some things called interpretability. आप लोग को नाम से मतलब पता ही चल गया होगा, like when you are making the prediction, then it's predictability, like you are getting accurate or good results in prediction, that is predictability. And when you are moving towards like how to interpret this model which you have created, that's called interpretability. Both terms are like not correlated, they are way separated out. Now moving on how this helps. So let me tell you that in our surroundings, when we create a model, let's not deep dive into that particular thing, that how to create a model or so, because you all are beginners, so you won't be understanding all this stuff. So let me be like simple with you guys कि whenever you are doing those kind of stuffs, सब लोगों ने straight line तो पढ़ा ही होगा, like all might have studied straight line in 11th class. There is a concept called y equals to mx plus c. So this y equals to mx plus c, that particular equation is linear regression. A basic model of machine learning, linear regression, is based on that particular equation y equals to mx plus c, where c is the y-intercept, m is the slope, and y and x are the variable terms. So that defines our first machine learning model and how these predictability versus interpretability relate to that particular thing. So usually what happens na ki whenever you are predicting something, there might be different model better than linear regression or better than any other model which might give you accurate result, and there might be some model which you can understand easily कि हाँ भैया इसका logic तो समझ में आ रहा है कि how this model works, but इसका result इतना अच्छा नहीं आ रहा है. And there are some models उनका result बहुत अच्छा आ रहा है, but you are not able to understand how they works. There are some topics, like obviously every model can be understood, but there are some complexities behind it. And there comes this concept predictability versus interpretability. So you can get my point. Linear regression is quite easy. Y equals to mx plus c sabne padha hai. So it is quite easily interpretable. But usually what happens on most of the data sets, other different machine learning models perform better than linear regression. Not in all the cases. There are some data sets jin pe linear regression better perform karta hai, but most of the data sets pe there are certain ML models called decision tree, जिनके बारे में मैं अभी आगे डिस्कस करूंगा, KNN or something like that. They perform better than linear regression. So you might be thinking कि if a particular model is performing better, why should we choose a less performing model, like जो accurate नहीं है, why should we choose that? So actually it depends on the user.
who is choosing. If a user wants कि उसे समझ में आई चीज, like he wants the interpretation, so he will go to that particular model. If a user wants he wants just the accurate result, or she wants just the accurate results, then he or she will go for predictability. There are models like decision trees. Just abhi ke liye don't remember the terms, okay? We'll be discussing them in future. Abhi ke liye just don't remember the terms. There are terms like decision tree, random forest, neural networks. They perform like, not neural network, but yeah, they perform these decision tree, random forest, they perform better than linear regression in many data sets. But sometimes इनको समझने में like there is some complexity, they are not easily interpretable, but they perform better. Their predictability is better in most of the cases. I would again say in most of the cases, not in all the cases. So usually beginner people would think, I will always choose that model which has the better accuracy rate, or which gives the best score to me. Yeah, for मैं भी जब beginner था, I always thought of that way, that whichever model gives me the accuracy of 99.8% or 98%, I will go with that model. But usually the things don't have go that way. It depends on user. Sometimes user want the interpretation, and that's where a term called explainable AI is in the market. Like, what is explainable AI? Let me tell you that usually nowadays what is happening when there is a model or there is a working of AI or machine learning, people wants to know how it is working, and that's called explainable AI, when you can explain how the model is working. Although it's a very new topic, there are many people who don't know about it, and also I am also looking forward to work on it. So that's where the concept of predictability comes. So I hope you get my point, that there are some model who predict better, there are some model who can be interpreted better, but it depends on the user's choice. It depends on the problem statement, what you want, what user wants. So हमेशा ये चीज जरूर दिमाग में रखना, that every time you don't have to go for accuracy score. If the business question or the question asked from you is that you have to find accurate results, then go for accuracy or predictability. And if the user wants how it is well interpreted, tell me the logic or something like that, then go for interpretation. And to be specific, let me tell you, sometimes linear regression performs better than decision tree and random forest in some of the data set, not all the data sets. So abhi ke liye, like, I hope you get my concept of predictability versus interpretability. Ki like, it depends on user and it depends on the problem statement. Don't always think in that mind ki we want accuracy. Yeah, most of the cases you will be needing accuracy, but there are some use cases or problem statements jahan pe user ko predictability ka need hota hai. So you get my point. Now moving on to the next part, which is like ML algorithms of regression and classification. So in the beginning of this like session, Debayud introduced about topic supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. So what is supervised learning? When we have a data set and we have a like value for them, like suppose we have some attributes and we have the result of them, and we train our model ki yes, see our we are saying to the model, bro, see, this is our some of the data set, and we have got the result that this is the value when this are the conditions. Suppose if we are considering for the rainy day, so if there is a temperature of this, if the wind is this much and humidity is this much, then it rains. And in so condition of humidity, temperature, and something like that, it does not rain, it's a sunny day. So we are giving it a particular data set and a particular target variable, that is called supervised learning. Then what we are doing, we are providing them the data set, we are also telling them the result. We are telling to the model that learn this, and in future if you get any target any attributes like this, just tell me what will be the result based on these criteria. This is supervised learning. And what is unsupervised learning? That you just want to do clustering kind of thing. You don't know what is target variable, you just know that these are some values and these are particular attributes given to you. You don't know what they result, what they produce, or what they do. So you just know that these are the attributes kind of thing, and you segregate them based on the clustering methods present in unsupervised learning. So usually supervised learning is categorized in two, that is regression and classification. Regression means many of you who would be knowing English very good उनको पता होगा regression means when there is a continuous variable, when there like regression means when there is a continuous variables, like the values are continuous, then we go for these things. And classification means either 0 1, or like if there are multi classes 5 6 classes, then classify that particular result into one of those classes. That is classification. So usually to define them in one straight line, what I would say, regression is used when, or regression can be termed of a problem statement when there is a continuous number of variables, or not variables, continuous number of values, and also in the result they are asking you to predict a particular value, ki bhaiya these are the values, and you have to generate a random number. So you don't know what will be the number, whether it can be 0 1 2 3 or so on, like 1000 1999 or something, like it might be decimal also. That kind of case is a regression. But when it is told you like that, ki bro, these are 500 pictures, 200 are of dogs, 300 are of cats, just see them and train yourself. And when you show him or her that like your model, when you show that model that picture, tell them like ask them, bro, tell me whether it's a dog or it's a cat. And if it is a multi classification problem, then whether it's an airplane, whether it's a boat, whether it's a car, whether it's a dog, something like that. But you have like specific number of 5 to 6 classes or 2 classes, at most 10 to 15 classes. That is classification. But when you don't know the number of classes in the target variable, that is regression. So usually these are the some algorithms of regression and classification, that is linear regression, decision tree, SVM algorithm, naive Bayes, KNN, K means random forest. I termed the names, I missed one, logistic regression. Can anyone tell me why I missed the name of logistic regression? In the chat box, please, like I'll be happy to know that. Yeah, so let me tell you why I stopped or I missed the logistic regression concept. The thing is, logistic regression is not regression. The term regression comes in its name, but is not a regression thing. This algorithm is a classification algorithm. So this is the funda behind logistic regression, why I missed this, because I wanted to gain some attention. In future, if someone asks you whether logistic regression is a regression or classification, directly say them it's a classification. Then they will ask you in counter that why there is a name of regression in its name, why it is called logistic regression if it's a classification. Then tell them because the logic behind the this algorithm, the logic in the layers is kind of regression algorithm, but it segregates the values in classes. So it works as a classifier, but the logic in the below layers works as a regression. So usually this is logistic regression is a classifier. So you get my point. Then decision tree can be worked as both ways, like regression also, classification also. Same goes for SVM. Naive Bayes is a classification algorithm. KNN is also a classification algorithm. K means is a kind of clustering algorithm, a supervised. This is a supervised learning algorithm. And random forest is also can be trained in both the ways, like classification and regression. And in upcoming slides, I'll be telling about linear regression and KNN also. Moving on to the first algorithm of today's class, that is linear regression, or today's session. I would not term it as a class because it's not a class. It's a normal session between seniors and juniors. Moving on to our first algorithm, that is linear regression. It's a regression and it predicts a like continuous value when you ask for a value from that particular model. So as you can learn the bookish terms present in the PPT, I'll also be sharing the PPT with you guys, that it is used to predict the value of a variable based on the value of another variable. So basically the line means that it predicts the value of a variable based on value of another variable. Here the another variable is the independent variable and the prediction value is the dependent variable. Same goes for y equals to mx plus c. This is what was I was talking about, y equals to mx plus c, which you have like learned in your 11th class straight line chapter. Here y becomes the dependent variable and x is the independent variable. So the variable you want to predict is called the dependent variable. Here it's specified that you want to predict y, which is a dependent variable, and the variable which will be predicting the values, which will be used to predicting the values, it is independent variable, that is x. Here the notation are of theta1 and theta2. You can, for simplicity, you can consider them as m and c also, but when you will be moving on in ML field, you have to remember these terms in these way only, like theta and mega and all these things. So usually theta2 here is the slope and theta1 here is the intercept. And usually the data is also plotted in that way only, like a straight line is plotted, and based on that, whichever straight line is the best fit line for all the data points, that line shows us the result of the model, and according to that the model predicts the value of upcoming value. Okay, so moving on to our next algorithm, which is KNN. So KNN is a classification algorithm. So I wanted to pick these two algorithms because one is a regression algorithm and another one is a classification algorithm. So moving on to this algorithm, what happens here is, like, it's also a very basic, like I picked these two because they usually relate to your 10th 11th 12th class maths, and you can easily relate to them. So linear regression was based on straight line, and this KNN is related on distance method. So usually aap sab logo ko, like, you must guys must have idea about, like, jab bhi when you have to find the distance between two coordinates, what's the formula for that? Like a basic geometry question, a coordinate geometry question, which you guys must have studied in 11th or 12th class, I guess. ICSE में 11th में था. So the formula is y, like whenever the distance is used to calculate, the distance is d equals to under root x1 minus x2 का whole square plus y1 minus y2 का whole square. And that is the funda behind this algorithm. So many people before joining this session would be thinking ki bhaiya ML would be like quite difficult topic, but as you can see, we have discussed the two most famous algorithms with a like they are very simple and they relate to your math of 10th 11th class. So if you might get the funda that usually the distance is being calculated, and as there is a name in its particular name, that k nearest neighbor. So what does k signifies here? Let me tell you that k is the value of the data points we'll be considering for a particular value when it is being asked कि आप इसका value कितना दोगे. Suppose a user feeds a value for a model to predict कि I have passed you a value, suppose 20, and tell me कि which region does it belong. So for that particular value 20, we'll be considering the k number of data points around it. Here k is specified as 3. So k equals to 3 is the nearest 3 points will be considered, and usme majority देखेंगे, like whichever has the majority, whether it's like 2 with 2 or 1 ka ratio, and suppose there is a point and we have to like think of key which majority does it belong. So we'll be finding it out. Suppose there are 2 regions, so 2 1 ka majority aa jayega 3 mein. And I want to ask you one more question. Like, obviously I know many of you would not be knowing, so I would not be putting it on the chat box, but yeah, that's my question, that if you are thinking of the answer in your mind, and if you hear that whatever said is matching with your answer, then keep a like thumbs up to yourself that you know this answer, and you should be happy that you know that answer, because it's a like kind of basic concept which most of the people should know while learning machine learning, that k is odd number. Why we are considering it as odd number? Why we are not considering it even number? Because usually k is considered as 3 5 7. We should not consider k more than a particular value. We'll be telling when you will be learning this algorithm in detail, you would be knowing that why k should not be considered in large values, because अगर उतने number of points होंगे ही नहीं किसी एक particular region में, so it will never provide you a majority. Okay, suppose we consider as k equals to 17. One region has 21 points and one region has 14 points. So if you consider the largest region, so that 14 points region will never provide you 17. So like the thing is like it will never gain the majority. So kind of us wale scene mein that creates an issue. So we do not take large values, but the question is why we take odd number of values, like k equals to 3, k equals to 5, why not even? The answer to this question is like we can consider for even also. Okay, there is no issue in taking even values, but the thing is usually what happens when there are even number of regions like 2 4 something like that. So when we have to find majority, like if you would be thinking of k equals to 4 here, and we have 2 regions, so if in 4 closest point 2 comes from the white and 2 comes from the orange, then how would you find the majority? So that's why we usually prefer for odd number. But in some cases when the regions are odd, there might be a chance that the situation might get stuck with the same thing, that majority nahi aa pa raha hai, some are getting split majorities. So in that case we consider the plus one thing, or we can move on to the next numbers. So k might be even in some cases, but usually we prefer it odd because it gives us the majority values. And also in distance thing, there are two types of distance methods which are used by scikit-learn, a package of Python. Also while learning in this math, knn can be implemented by two type of distance method. One is Euclidean distance, one is Manhattan distance. बहुत से लोगों को, I know that many of you would not be knowing what do these terms refer. So yeah, firstly I was thinking of doing it on whiteboard, but yeah, I got a photo of it. So I'll be showing you what is Euclidean distance and what is Manhattan distance. Just give me a second. So I guess Deba, you just can you tell me yes or no whether my the
Yes,
Brave
yes, it is
browser
visible.
screen is
It is
visible?
visible.
Okay. So in this photo, as you can see, guys, this is the x coordinate and this is the y coordinate. And here the blue line shows the Euclidean distance, that is x2 minus x1 ka whole square plus y2 minus y1 ka whole square whole to the under root. That is hypotenuse of x and y. Okay. And here this red line shows the Manhattan distance. Okay. And it can also be like, this is also the Manhattan distance, the green line. So you can show see the difference. Obviously every time the red and the green line will have more value than blue value, and usually the default value we use is Euclidean distance, but you can also opt for Manhattan distance because sometimes Manhattan distance is used. And most of you will be thinking that where it is used. So let me tell you, when you are like going for Google Maps thing na, then there are like, suppose there is a straight road. Okay, so you can't, if you want to calculate a distance between a particular point and another particular point, you would be calculating distance on Google Map. It would obviously be telling you distance on the basis of roads na. It would not be directly calculating the displacement between two points. So that's where the Manhattan distance point things come. And that's the factor that these two distances are preferred based on the dependency of theirs in particular use cases. Everyone has their use cases. As I've told you, use case of Manhattan and Euclidean ka to sabko pata hi hoga ki like usually clustering mein we consider the shortest distance, the displacement method. So these two are like displacement distance methods, and we'll moving on to another thing that is more on ML. Okay, so this is the part which you guys should know before starting the machine learning. Those were the theory parts. But if you are going to start a journey in your machine learning, then you should know these parts. First is languages. There are three languages usually like most preferred nowadays. There are many languages which you can use. बहुत सारी और भी हैं, like usually ये use की जाती है. Java में भी machine learning होती है. ठीक है, C++ में भी machine learning होती है, but it is not preferred. Like that is quite complex. So usually the most used machine learning language is Python, and thus some packages of Python which are used for machine learning are NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Scikit-learn, TensorFlow, PyTorch, SciPy, and there are many more. Okay, so the thing is ki like you would be thinking what are these names. For just briefing, let me tell you, NumPy is for numerical calculation and for creating like all the numerical calculation stuff, and for dealing with array calculation and all those things. Pandas is usually used to manipulate the data and for reading the files, and also for manipulating the data. Apart from that, Matplotlib and Scikit-learn are used to visualize the data. TensorFlow and PyTorch are usually used for like deep learning stuff, which will not be deep diving in this particular session, but yeah, it's also an interesting topic. Apart from that, SciPy is used. SciPy is just a like कह सकते हो भाई है NumPy का. ठीक है, NumPy is used for numerical calculation. SciPy is used for scientific calculation. There are many other packages. Okay, so and Scikit-learn, I termed Scikit-learn in the category of visualization. Actually, Seaborn is a Seaborn and Matplotlib are visualization tools, and Scikit-learn is used for implementing machine learning. Okay, जैसे TensorFlow and PyTorch are used for implementing deep learning, Scikit-learn is used for implementing machine learning, and Matplotlib and Seaborn are used for that purpose. Next language is R, best alternative of Python. If you have any personal grudges with Python, नहीं करना है, बिल्कुल मन ही नहीं है Python करने का, then you can go for R. R is the alternative of Python, used, widely used, but not as much as Python. And Google, Facebook, Uber, many big companies use R for machine learning. Apart from that, let me tell you, for visualization purpose, R is pretty much good. It has like extensive libraries for visualizing data, better than Python. But yeah, deep learning के stuffs में R sucks. So not too much, but yeah, somewhat. So usually, if you want to think of future and want to go for deep learning, yeah, Python is quite easy for that. Julia is like the most recent one out of these three. Python was launched 31 years ago, R was launched 29 years ago, and Julia is launched just 10 years ago. So Julia is the like baby of machine learning कह सकते हैं इन तीनों के बीच में, बच्चा है वो अभी. But yeah, it's gaining much popularity. One of our college seniors have also completed GSOC in this particular language. So yeah, it's just a very new language and it's getting developed. You can also think of joining this community, Julia community. Moving on to the next part, that is ID and cloud services. So भैया आपने ये सब तो बता दिया, थ्योरी पार्ट तो हो गया भैया, लैंग्वेजेस भी बता दी भैया, but how can we code? Best question for everyone. So usually the things don't work like DSA. Usually like you can do stuffs in VS Code and other like editors, but the most preferred editor is Jupyter Notebooks. It is an offline version, so you can install it through Anaconda. Okay, it's a package handling software. You can go for Jupyter Notebooks. बहुत ही अच्छा tool है for using. You can do the snippets of code. छोटे-छोटे codes को execute कर सकते हो इसमें. You can also write some text in middle between code cells and markdown cells. There are some markdown cells which you can write the text. Google Colab is just Jupyter Notebooks but net वाला. ठीक है. Internet लगा दो. That is Google Colab. Simple thing. What I would say. There's nothing difference in that. Google Colab and Kaggle, just the Jupyter Notebook with the internet connectivity. What creates the difference? Let me tell you, they provide their own CPU and GPU. So if you have a low-end laptop, opt for Google Colab or Kaggle. Okay, because if you have a low-end laptop, for deep learning purposes, GPU is required a lot, and like for your system, it will suck. So you can go for Google Colab and Kaggle. Okay, both are almost similar. You can use any one of them. Google Colab is quite popular. Kaggle is not so much, but yeah, you should also use that. Moving on to Spider and VS Code. Spider is a script kernel setup, just like VS Code. Like if you know the whole code, you can write it and just like execute it in a single step. For that purpose, you can use either VS Code or Spider. Both are almost same. Okay, and for these Jupyter Notebook and Google Colab things, what are these? Like if you put a piece of 4-line code and you want to see how it works, you can see that. But in Spider and VS Code, you have to execute each and every time. That's the difference. Now moving on to cloud service, AWS, Microsoft Azure, like सबने नाम सुना ही होगा, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, A Cloud Guru. These are hosting services for machine learning, like your ML apps and all those things. But also they provide coding environment. ठीक है. Usually people would not go apart from these three to the hosting service because वो थोड़ा complexity में रहते हैं. But if you want to do, you can do. These hosting service also provide the coding platforms. Moving on to data sets कि भैया इतना सब तो समझ में आ गया. We got all your points, but for like doing ML stuff, we need data set to perform. How to get data sets? So your next question answer is here. That Kaggle, Google data set. These are some of the names. On these sites, you can find the data sets. A huge amount of data sets are present. Kaggle is one of the biggest platform for data sets, and Google data search, OpenML, UCM, machine learning repository. There are many number. Visual data provides computer vision data sets. Big Bad NLP data set provides for like NLP, because in deep learning there are two domains like vision or language. So for vision things, computer vision things, you can go for visual data also for data sets, and for natural language processing, you can go for big bad NLP data set. उतना complexity में अभी मत सोचना. Just go for Kaggle for data sets as you are beginners, or most of you are beginners here. So go for Kaggle or Google data sets, data set search. Okay. So data set का भी काम हो गया. You know the IDs. Okay. You know the languages to code. Now move on कि भैया आप सीखे कैसे? Like you told all the stuff, but how to learn? So here are courses or channels. What I say, YouTube channels भी हैं, free वाला है सब कुछ. There's nothing paid which I'll be telling you in this PPT. Okay, everything is free. If not, you can make it free. Simple funda of life. Okay, so you can contact me in personal if you want to make something free. Okay, so first course which I would recommend, one of the finest course, machine learning specialization on Coursera. Instructor is Andrew Ng. Okay, before 1 to 2 years, there was his course Introduction to Machine Learning. It was a very nice course, but वो क्या था कि it was in Octave language, not in Python language. So many people were facing that issue, like how to do the lab stuffs, okay, how to perform these things. So he modified that course, and in 2022 July he launched the new course, June or July I guess. He launched the new course, Machine Learning Specialization. This is a 3-week course. This is the actually this specialization is a 3-course specialization, and each course contains their special contents. You can go forward with them. Coursera is a paid thing, but how you can make free? There are options of financial aid, or you can free audit to the course. Free में भी देख सकते हो पूरा course, but certificate नहीं मिलेगा. And if you want certificate, you can get the 2 with the free thing. Just you have to apply for financial aid. You will get it approved within 15 days. Moving on to our next course, that is ML Crash Course by Google, a very good course. If you want to go for like Google है तो अच्छा होगा. This is also a nice course. Just like machine learning specialization by Andrew Ng. Although I would say Andrew Ng wala course is too good. Okay, like Andrew Ng is considered one of the gods. Like there are few gods in machine learning industry. One of them is Andrew Ng. Another one is Tom Mitchell. Okay, there are many others. So these are some book courses which I recommended. Also, this is the link of particular Notion, which will be opening here. I guess you can see this particular content. So yeah, it also has huge number of resources present here, and you can see that there are costs, but also in the end it is written can audit for free. So there are like many number of courses. Also I'll be sharing the PPT, so usse aap log you can access this particular thing. And just give me a second, I closed my PPT, pardon for that. So I hope you get my point ki you can work with that thing. And like it's this particular Notion site has many number of resources present. I borrowed it from Daniel Burke. He's a very good person for data science and for machine learning. Now talking about books, yeah, you could see there are lot number of tabs present here, just open for you. Good books. So Intro to Statistical Learning in R. So you would be thinking, if Python is so much relevant, then why to go for R? Okay, if you don't want to go for labs, just get the concepts from this book. It's a very good book. Just get the concepts from it and do it in Python. It's your version of doing it. I did it in Python. I like literally studied this book. So this is the cover of this book. If you want a PDF version of me, you can like Discord. I will share this PDF along with you. Also, it is like freely available on internet. You can search for his Introduction to Statistical Learning with application in R, and you can find it. Okay. Apart from that, this is a good book. And moving on, hands-on machine learning with scikit-learn and TensorFlow. O'Reilly की बहुत प्यारी book है. So this is one of the books. If you are into books, you can go for books. But I would like to tell you that in the end, if you all like तुम लोग अगर video वाले भी लोग like you like to see video, in the end you have to at some point of time in life, if you want to go in machine learning field, you have to read research papers, you have to read books. So just put it as a hobby to read books. Then this book, which I have shown here, Machine Learning by Tom Mitchell, I have written in bracket, not for beginners or even intermediate. This is purely for like advanced people. So I would not be showing you this book. I have this book present, but yeah, I'll not be showing you because it's a kind of good book, and I would strictly say not to follow it. Strictly, I would instruct you not to follow it because बाद में blame मत करना कि भैया ML बहुत boring लग रही है, मुझे नहीं पढ़ना. Because this book में all the things are math oriented. Okay. Now this is one of the good books कि भैया those who are asking कि how to learn maths for machine learning, this is a good book. I'll be discussing about it in roadmap wala part. Moving on to projects, this is like भैया सब कुछ बता दिया. You have told us the course we can learn, we can code in language, we know the IDs, we have the data sets. Then which projects do we make? So these are some projects, beginner friendly. These are real estate house price prediction, then breast cancer classification. So that real estate house price prediction is regression. Then breast cancer classification is classification. And in upcoming all the projects, I will not be telling you regression or classification because you have to find it out yourself. So then stock price prediction, handwritten digit classification. Then moving on in intermediate section, There's movie recommendation system, although many of you are thinking it's a beginner project, but yeah, if you put some like different characteristics in it, modify it somewhat, it will become an intermediate project. Moving on, that is text summarization, that is NLP project. Kyunki I have put it in intermediate state because in the beginner state you will be learning machine learning, and in the intermediate phase you'll be moving on to deep learning. Then stock price prediction. Okay, so you can see I've written again. Why I've written again? Because it is also mentioned here and it is also mentioned here. So bhaiya, if it is a beginner, how it can become the intermediate project? There's a thing that if you are performing stock price prediction just by simple algorithms and just by doing simple calculation, you'll be getting low accuracy. That's a beginner project. Okay. And when you will be putting some efforts, you will be doing time series forecasting. There is a different topic. You have to study a lot different things. Then you can do much better prediction for stocks. And then it comes under intermediate to advanced level. And if I go for advanced, then full pipeline based ML models. So you would be thinking pipeline ka bhaiya Seaver chal raha hai yahan pe. So it's not like that. Seavers nahi hai. There is a pipeline for each and each and every ML model that are being trained. Pipeline is created. Because in advanced level, you don't have to implement just one algorithm. You have to implement a series of algorithms to reach to a particular outcome. So for that particular thing, you have to create particular pipelines to attach all these codes, how to extract the data, then how to feed data into another model that you'll be training. So that thing comes in advance. Just ignore this thing, particular thing for just for now, and also these things. If you are a beginner, just follow these upper five things. These are for you. Okay. Linear regression से ये वाला हो जाता है प्रॉब्लम, ठीक है. Let just telling you. Okay, moving on to different job roles. तो अब बात हो गई सब complete. Coming to the end part कि भैया everything is done, like I am doing machine learning, but what's the scope of it? How will I be getting jobs? People would be doing software engineering and I'll be like learning this machine learning. I could have done web development and I could have easily got internships. Yeah, so सब लोगों के अपने अपने डोमेन्स होते हैं. लाइक वेब डेवलपमेंट में फ्रंट एंड बैक एंड की जॉब्स होती हैं. सेम गोज फॉर मशीन लर्निंग टू. So these are some of the job roles which I have specified. I will still say some of the job roles because there are many more. So you can see कि कितने सारे तो job roles I have specified and still there are some only. So first category belongs to the like machine learning engineer, data scientist. This is the total data science part. Okay, data scientist is one of the most prolific role. Then comes the data engineer and data analyst role, and also business analyst role. So you can see that data scientist, दो अभी market में चल रहे हैं which are famous. I would like to know data scientist, then ML engineer. Okay, then this business analytics analyst is famous. Then here also data scientist name has come. Then data analyst is famous. Data architect is famous. So you can get the concept ki, yeah, it is like काफी सारे job roles हैं. You can get a lot of package and a lot of job roles to apply for. So this is our part which I'll be telling Debayut to join with me for starting up with the ML roadmap part, which is the last part of our session. This will be a like 15 to 20 minute part. After that will be like just a 10 to 15 minutes part, and after that we'll be opening the stage for question answers which all you have. Okay, so Debayut, am I audible to you?
Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, so first of all, this is the Anaconda Navigator which Prakash said previously. It is an offline version. Here you can get all the studios like from the R Studio, the Jupyter Notebook and all those. Okay, so here is the wait a minute, Jupyter Notebook. So this is the difference between Jupyter Lab and Jupyter Notebook. It is only for Python coding and it allows cell-wise Python presentation. So if we click on launch, we will get, wait a minute. Yeah, so this is the Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so we create a new notebook and this is the cells where we can code and execute our code. Similarly, we have Google Colab where we can connect our Google Drives and import the data set and start coding. Here you will get connecting, you will get the GPU, CPU, which Prakash said previously. And so this is the copy drive portion, the drive link here. Similarly, we have Kaggle. Okay, so in Kaggle, like we'll get the data sets along with the notebooks and all. Like there competition also goes on machine learning competition, deep learning competitions. And here you can get the dataset portion, like new notebook portion and all. And the BI tools, like the analytics tools, and for that we have Power BI. There we can get like many data already given, like cancer statistics, explore 100 useful products and all. Like many data are given already, sports rank, how equal and all. You can do your own work from here, or you can create like import the data and all these. And the as Prakash said earlier, the YouTube channels are very important as a beginner. Like I've also learned from these channels. Prakash also learned from these channels as a beginner. Like it would just take 1 month hardly to view the videos and learn. Like this is Code Basics channel. You can refer to it. Along with it, we have another channel named Krishnayak's channel. This is also very good. Uh, Another we have like the Codeshaver's channel. We can get here all the Python tutorials, machine learning tutorials from data analytics, visualizations and all. There are many videos. Um, yes, and most importantly, we have to create one GitHub account. Okay. In first year, second year, we have created ours, and I hope you guys have also created, or please create account. Because this is very important for code submission and all. You have to like your repositories like this. Wait a minute. So you will get the repositories. You will create new repository and name it and upload projects here. Like if I take example like this IMDb sentiment analysis, like I've created this repository, uploaded my projects here, the notebook file, the Python file and all. So all these and rest, Prakash will stay you like what are in the roadmaps. So please send to it and we will take your questions further.
Yeah, this is just a basic roadmap. Okay, if you want to see a like, just brace your eyes. I want to like show you something which you'll be like thinking कि भाई ये क्या दिखा दिया. So this is a particular roadmap by a very famous person, like जिसका नाम अभी थोड़ी देर पहले मैंने लिया था, Keith, like Daniel Burke. So he's a data scientist right now in Australia, in a particular company. This is a very famous roadmap, which like it is a very large roadmap. I am not expanding it completely. When you will expand it, you will see like there are 32 9. So this is the data set which you can follow. I'll also provide this link if you want. Okay. And like it's a very good roadmap which you can follow. Ki like if you want to see each and everything, you can follow this particular thing. Isme books bhi mentioned hai, isme mathematical tool bhi mentioned hai, where to read mathematics and all those stuff wo bhi sab mentioned hai. Now moving on to my version of ML roadmap, which is like a simplified version, so you can like easily get to know the thing. So this roadmap is a combined roadmap for analysis as well as machine learning. Okay, not for just for machine learning, also for analysis. So just start with Excel. I know that many of you would be thinking कि भैया Excel is a quite beginner thing, like we were doing it in 8th or 9th class. I got your point, and I was thinking the same way before I got into the details of Excel. So just Excel is a very good tool. Most of the companies do their normal jobs using Excel for analysis purpose. So just get the stuff, know about Excel. Then along with that, learn about statistics. Okay, and statistics, by statistics I mean all the math, and I'll be telling you which math I'm talking about. It comes like it's just not the statistics, it's a math term. Linear algebra, statistics, probability, you should know these things. And for those purpose, let me show you the books. This is one of the very famous book, Mathematics for Machine Learning by Aldo Faisal. You can take a read of this book, just a 400 pages book. It tells you about linear algebra, then geometry, then probability and distribution, and also dimensionality reduction and all those things. Apart from that, this is kind of an intermediate level book. elements of statistical learning, just a sister of introduction to statistical learning. I can like you can relate the names ESLR, ESL, and ISL. So yeah, this is brother of or sister of, what would I say, of ISLR. And in the book of statistical introduction to statistical learning, this book has been mentioned. It's also a very good book. It will give you the knowledge about the maths behind all those things. So this is a one to like go-to book for mathematics for machine learning. You can follow this, and there are many other books. Okay, apart from that, like let me show you that we come to our, and also one more thing I would like to say you, for maths, if you want video tutorials, like many of you would be thinking कि भैया आपने किताब बता दिया, like what to follow for these video tutorials. So you can go for Khan Academy. Khan Academy tutorials are way too good for linear algebra, for statistics. You can follow those. Apart from that, you can also follow 3B 1B. I would show you the channel. Just give me a second. So this channel is quite nice, 3 blue 1 brown. So iska bhi videos acha, you can follow. It has also a playlist of statistics and linear algebra. And if you will be following, it is a like quite detailed version. Aapko thoda acha knowledge mil jayega about the concept. So this is also a good channel. And Khan Academy is a very good source, very good resource. I would say like just fantabulous. Okay, and this is a book resource. Like if you want to get documentation, you can follow this book, a very good to book, and you can follow it in future also if you have any issues. Then data visualization part comes. For that purpose, you can follow, you can learn like matplotlib, cbond, and you can also, once you get the grip of matplotlib and cbond to visualize data, you can, along with that, you can also learn BI tools. This term here on the 6th number, BI tools, I'll be telling it what. But along with data visualization, because in data visualization, what I've specified, matplotlib and cbond and numpy and pandas, these 4 libraries of Python, that matplotlib, cbond, numpy and pandas, these are like basic libraries which you should know for like learning ML. So numpy and pandas को भी साथ साथ थोड़ा बहुत पढ़ लेना, just get a grip of it, and also get the knowledge about how to visualize data using matplotlib and cbond if you are going for Python. If you are going for R, then you have various other, like उसमें भी libraries होती हैं to learn all these stuff, so go for those. Okay, and once you get the grip of visualization, like you know the maths, you know the Excel tools, and you are meanwhile in the backend you are also getting some knowledge of theory. Follow this 8th point which is mentioned, machine learning. In the middle of these, like when you are going for 4 5 na, just start with 8 also, like thoda karke start with it, the theory of machine learning, which I have told, like basics like linear regression, then KNN and all those things. And once you get the grip of visualization tools, just move on to BI tools. BI means business intelligence tools, and these include like Tableau, Power BI. These are different softwares which are used to visualize data, and you can follow these tools for visualizing your data. Once you are like, you can create various dashboards using it. I have created some on Tableau, so you can try these. Just get a hold of any one of the tools. It's very good, either Tableau or Power BI, and if you know both, it is like a cherry on the top. Okay, now moving on to 7th point. Once you get the grip of BI tools, you can go for database. Now database is somewhat जो आप लोग सब लोग सोचते होगे, that is only database, like to manage the data where you can manage the data. So it is basically 2 types, that like one is SQL based and one is no SQL based. For no SQL based, you might have heard the term MongoDB. Agar abhi, like if right now you all might not be knowing these terms, just don't follow it. Just remember these key terms: database. Okay. And when you will search on Google what is database, or you will ping in WhatsApp, here what is database, I'll be briefing you all. Okay. So there are some terms like MongoDB and MySQL. So you can also get a grip of databases, like how NoSQL databases work, how SQL databases work. And once you get the knowledge of it, it's very good for becoming a data scientist. Okay. Then 8th part and 9th part. 9th part ko don't consider it for beginner level. Just go for 8th part. Get the theory behind yourself. And as I told you, like you want a detailed roadmap, then I will be sharing this link. It has a like detailed roadmap for everything, but follow the sequence which I mentioned in this PPT. Okay, just follow the sequence, because the sequence here mentioned is kind of messed up, like mathematics, then books, then cloud service. So like afterwards it come data sets. So you can like see the like that chronological order in my PPT. Apart from that, here also you can see that once you get the knowledge of all these things, you can also, there is 173 ways to like get to know how the project thing and all those things work. And I'll also be sharing this Notion link. Apart from that, some of the YouTube channels where I also followed along with Debayud, like Debayud mentioned some of those which I followed, and some of others are this like a very good course from Stanford University, machine learning full course taught by Andrew Ng himself. Okay, this guy is like on another level. Okay, so these are good course. Okay, apart from that, also Stanford or I guess Harvard have taught linear algebra. Okay, just their course is also quite amazing, so you can follow that too. And let me see if I have present. Yeah, I have here. So this is a quite good course, MIT open course, where you can find the videos on YouTube. It will be present, like just search for MIT open courseware. So it has also taught linear algebra. You can also search for statistics. They have taught you. Okay, then this is one good channel, 3 blue 1 brown. And apart from that, Krish Naik, and yeah, one more name apart from the names which he mentioned, Josh Tremor, StatQuest with Josh Tremor. This guy is like also quite good in his work. You can follow his playlist also. And all, as I've said, like don't, this is my final quote, just don't go for huge number of resources. Okay, keep this in mind, just stick to one, any one of those. Okay, either go for Andrew Ng course or go for like this Stanford course or like Josh Tremor. Just don't go for everywhere. ठीक है, एक चीज पे focus करना, take it to the end. Just don't do like this, that what is machine learning you have learned in one video. Okay, 30 minutes video, what is machine learning, and then you are following another instructor for that same content, like what is machine learning, because he might add 1 or 2 points extra, just like me and Devayu. Okay, but he, like, you would be having a clear concept about that topic and you will be wasting time. Just go, don't go for different resources. We have mentioned different resources जिसकी वजह से like you can find which one is better for you. Just take a look of all the resources and find which one is better for you, किससे you are feeling comfortable, which resource is like better for you. Hindi version, Krishna is good. Krishna like works in Hindi tutorials, and Code Basics is also good. Code Basics has a Hindi channel also. If you want to go for like some English channels, then these channels are good. Then just stick to one resource, I would say. Okay, for each and every concept. Okay, even if you're following a book for particular things like for maths, stick to one resource. Yeah, you can in future when you are from intermediate to advanced level, you can obviously go to various resources because you have to go, because at that particular time there will be some points which you will be requiring and that not be mentioned in that particular resource. So you can go, but as you are beginner right now, so just go for one particular resource for anything. Like either you are going for documentation books or you are going for video tutorials. सबको देखो, like there is a slogan of Airtel na कि देखो सबको, and like I don't remember the clear words, but yeah, this is like that कि use सबको करो and then find out the best for you. Okay, so right now I'm using Jio, that's why, because before I was using Airtel, I used everything and I found out that Jio is better for me. So see all the tutorials, see all the books, and whichever language, किसी book का language complex लग रहा है, don't read it. If you find a book which is quite simpler, if you find Khan Academy के tutorials way better, just follow them. Okay, whichever suits you, follow them. So this is end for me. And when you will be getting the knowledge of machine learning, you can go into deep learning and other stuffs. It will be a good journey for you in deep learning also. I guess that I might have cleared my points here. किसी को कुछ भी doubts है, you can turn on your mic, you can ask the doubts. उसके बाद भी अगर किसी के doubts बच जाते हैं, like there might be a thing that there must be many people who might be having queries. And if your queries are not completed or solved here, you can ping up on Discord server, you can message in WhatsApp groups, and you can ask your doubts. So I'll be opening the podium for Q&A session. Along with me, Debayud Mitra will be solving your queries if you have any. So you guys may go ahead and turn on your mics. Just request that you want to speak up and your mic will be turned on. Okay, so we are invited for questions. Is AR related to ML? Yeah, I got my first question. So No, AR is not. If you are thinking of that AR, VR, yeah, that AR augmented reality is not related to machine learning, but it is interrelated in a particular project with machine learning. Like when, like you would be seeing different projects being built up. So उसमें AR and ML are used एक साथ use किए जाते हैं in a pipeline, but AR is no way related to machine learning. Like indirectly what I say कि जैसे web development and machine learning are not same, okay, but in a project, like if I'm hosting a website where I want to deploy my machine learning model, so I will be requiring web development, also I'll be requiring machine learning. That's the concept for AR is a separate domain, just like web development, just like machine learning. Then is deep learning related to machine learning? Yeah, definitely, Raya. Deep learning is a subset of machine learning. Usually when we say machine learning aata hai ki nahi, we do not consider deep learning in that, but actually deep learning is a subset of machine learning. It comes inside machine learning. And can you suggest few models for image segmentation? Yeah, actually neural most famous thing that you have asking, like many of you would not be understanding this thing, but yeah, right, just let me tell you in short. Neural networks are usually used for that purpose only, okay. Object detection and that segmentation part, I am also working on those parts like recently. So yeah, neural networks are used for that purpose.
I'm answering. Yeah, it is very much research related. Okay, like in job sector also you will get opportunities like scientist, data scientist, decision scientist, strategy analyst, business analyst, and all those. But it is mainly focused on research only. That's very true. Like the
And
machine learning is developing, it's growing day by day. It is a very broad stream. Like it's not stopping. Similarly with AI, deep learning, same.
to add up, Aditya, I would like to say, if you think like you are not a research oriented guy, there is no issue. Kaggle नाम की एक चीज होती है, like there is a site called Kaggle. There are like two domains in machine learning. One side AIML, actually I would say, one side goes for research, like there is a V path. One side goes for research and one side goes for competition. So if you are not into research, you are more of a competitive kind of guy or do competitive programming, you can go for Kaggle and give the contest there and become the expert or grandmaster or so what. So you will not be needing research for that. You just have to create models, get good accuracy and all those stuffs.
And in Kaggle, there are many machine learning competitions also. You can participate there also. Like there are many options. Like don't
Yeah, and
fear like it is only research based. Okay. Like we are also like studying it. We are not something pro in it. Like you guys are also beginner. Like that's the thing.
yeah, and there's a thing like usually in competitive programming you get a rank, okay, you get promoted, but usually in Kaggle when you participate in competitions, I would say that they provide you cash prizes, okay. If you go in good competition, there are cash like prize pools of $100,000, like 4-5 crores in just single competition prize pool of that. So you just need good knowledge. If you are not good in research, don't worry. And also in job sector, not much research is required from you if you don't want to, okay. There are different job roles for researching and all those things. There are researcher fields also, there are competition field and working fields also. So job sector में भी काफी job मतलब इस area में job है. I am into that domain, so I know that because I will be pursuing, most probably I'll be pursuing in AIML field only for jobs. And Adrija, you asked me a question. Yeah, there will be further sessions from me and Debayut for ML, for all of you guys in future, definitely. So if you have any other questions, guys, you can either direct message or you can ask in chat box. Yeah, nice question, Bhavya. So yeah, usually people people ask like what are your projects. So I would say if you are going into machine learning domain for like job sectors and all those things, like usually for internships I would say, because I know about that. So you have to be good with your projects. Don't copy it from YouTube, don't copy it from GitHub. Even if you are copying, that's not a bad thing. Okay, many of the people do, and I've seen people like who were in my class in school, because I was a dropper, so they got in 4th year and they got placed this year. So they copied some projects, but they were smart enough that they understood the whole project. So even if you are copying, I would not say copying is a good thing, firstly. Okay, and one more thing I would like to add up, which I missed in the whole session. ML is no way related to competitive programming. So if you are thinking that I would not Google anything or it would be a bad thing, don't think of it. Okay, because every time in machine learning field you have to Google. You have like 3 best sites which I follow and which I would like to tell you: www.google.com, then stackoverflow.com, then third one is like kaggle.com, and there are many others. And apart from that, they also ask you that whether you know these things or not. And I frankly, everyone should say, yeah, if you know, then you know. If you don't know, then there is no issue. Just work on your projects. Okay, if you make any projects, just get a full knowledge about that project. If you know every theory behind it, why you did that particular thing. If you use this model, why you use this model, not that model. इतने concepts clear होने चाहिए. Like if they ask a backfire question, why you did this, not that, you should know why you did that. Okay, apart from that, they would be asking you some question related to data science or machine learning field, some questions related to deep learning, basic theory question. And these are like kind of things which are asked from you. Apart from that, some of your coding skills, I would not say too much DSA things. Yeah, they will not be asking you DP apply karo, but yeah, but they will asking you like basic data structure like array or those things, and they will be asking you whether you have good coding knowledge in Python and all those things. That's it. How much Python coding is needed to start? Okay, very good question. So ML start karoge, when you will be starting ML, start learning Python. Okay, I would say if you know just the basic for loop, okay, looping, you know, if else, like those statement, break statement, looping statement, if else statement, you know, working with list, working with tuple, set, dictionary. If you don't know Python, then you would not be understanding what these terms are. But when you will be knowing Python, you should know that these are good terms. Python में list, dictionary, set, tuple, you should know what these are. Okay, then itna aayega, then you can start ML. Okay, and if you want to get good in ML, just learn some of the oops concept of Python. Okay, thoda bahut pad lena, like how to define models, how to use them, then how to create class, how to automate things, incorporate various object wala thing, wo sab seekh lena. And don't worry about Python coding itna. Like Python is so much simple. R is also very much simple, I would say. ठीक है, R is not so much difficult. One can get a job in Pang or any other company just by CP. Then what is needed to do ML, because everyone learned to get a good. Yeah, Shreyans, there's a difference. Like let me tell you, this is a question which created controversy on YouTube. Okay, that if one person can crack Pang companies by CP, then why he should do development? I would not go into controversy thing, but the thing which I would say, for my role, like for machine learning people, I would say if you are doing CP, you will be going in SWE rules, okay, or in different rules. But you are doing ML, then if you are doing ML, then you will be going for data scientist role. Okay, data scientist ke role pe ya data analyst ke role pe, they won't not be taking you as a CP guy. ठीक है? Even if you have 7 stars on Code Chef, or you are a candidate master on Code Forces, they would not take you for data scientist role. So it all depends on your passion. Why a person want to become singer? That's it. Like अगर किसी को singer बनना है because he has passion for singing. So if a person has passion for AIML, then he will be going for those jobs. If he does not or she does not have passion, they might learn ML, they might create job. But in the long term, what I would say, 5 से 10 साल बाद, when you will be relying what I am doing in this job, then you will be thinking of following your passion. So I would be saying, just think, if you are interested in ML, Like I tried all the domains. I would not lie to you. I tried web development. I got the basics of web development. Then I moved on to this machine learning part. Okay, I also tried CP. Okay, CP I tried, but I was not good in it. Our president is too much good in it. I am not good in that CP part. So thoda bahut hi aata tha. So after doing those stuffs, I realized that these are not my domains. I am not to do these things. Like I am not so much good in CP. I'm not so much good in web dev. So then I realized I'm good in ML, so I should do that. So that's how you should explore your domain. That's why we are taking introduction session to let you know what these domains make and how you can start. And yeah, Devamrita has doubt that she has a very C but very little Python. Yeah, there is no issue. Just start learning. Yeah, C में मत करना. I would strictly say those people who are thinking that they know C, C++ or Java. I do DSA in Java. Okay, I'm also thinking for SWE roles. Okay, to be conscious. But I am no way thinking of doing Java say this ML thing. Okay, I am good in Java for DSA part. I do DSA in Java, but I never use Java for machine learning. You should never use Java for machine learning. You can, but I would say no. I would say no to C, C++, Java, everything. Just either go for Python or Julia. Okay, these three are good. There is a concept, there's a very famous AI. Okay, famous AI tool created by OpenAI, I guess, DAL-E. Okay, so it is used कि उसमें कुछ नहीं होता. You type a description and it will give you an image, a random image, an animated image. You might have seen those kind of concepts. You might have never heard this term DAL-E, DALL and E. This is a very famous application. So इसके बारे में कभी एक्सप्लोर करोगे तो पता चलेगा इसका बैकएंड कैसे काम करता है एंड सो ऑन. आई हैव नेवर सीन इट्स बैकएंड. ठीक है, टू बी फ्रैंक मुझे नहीं पता कैसे काम करता है. पता चल जाए तो बता देना. एंड आई गेस चैट इज गोइंग लाइक अलग लेवल पे. यू ऑल आर बिगिनर्स, सो आई थिंक दैट दे वुड नॉट बी अंडरस्टैंडिंग व्हाट GAN इज. ठीक है, जनरल एडवर्सल नेटवर्क्स, टू बी लाइक टू टेल यू द फुल फॉर्म्स. Yeah, we have our president with us. Yeah, Bhavya.
Lovely session from you guys. So I think the people over here have understood many new concepts about ML. One thing which I would recommend to everyone over here is to try and see what DALL-E 2 is, and just see that the future is all AI and ML. Just experience what DALL-E 2 can do. It is very powerful. 2 to 3 years back, someone had said me that AI and ML will dominate the future. I would have laughed on them. But in just 2 to 3 years, the AI and ML stream has got on to the new heights. So just try once.
And as हमारे पोस्टर में भी लिखा था, a breakthrough in machine learning worth 100, I guess 100 or 10, whatever it is, 100 Microsofts by Bill Gates, it was said. So ऐसी breakthrough की हमें need है. If any one of IEMEN can give that, ठीक है, then it would be very great. I'd be happy कि मैंने उसका एक सेशन लिया था. That's it. बताना अगर कोई इतना कर लेता है तो I'll be like very much glad. So yeah, so thank you guys. Enjoyed your company. Have a good night. That's all from today.